In this segment of the morning show is Candace Summers with the McLean County Museum of History. Candace, welcome. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing good. Thanks for asking, and thanks for making time for us as always. And Candace, as I was thinking about my morning show guests getting ready this morning, I remembered you were coming on the program, and I thought to myself, you know what? Cemetery walk time is coming up. So how about it? What do we know about Cemetery Walk for the fall of 23?
Yeah. So ticket sales begin on September 5th. You can purchase your tickets online through our website, or you can come here to the museum or stop by Evergreen Memorial Cemetery to pick up your tickets. And I say it every year. I know I do, but I really feel like we've got another great roster of people from our area's past that we are featuring on the cemetery walk this year, including a man who did for a very short amount of time have his photography business in Clinton.
Oh, no kidding. Well, before we get to those individuals, Candace, I want to ask, how much are tickets? Are there limited numbers available? Do they go fast? Tell us a little more about tickets, if you would.
So they do go fast. We do have a limited number of tickets available for each performance, because you can only have so many people in a group. You don't want to have, like a group of 60 people trying to hear all the performances for each character. So we do limit them to 40 per group as we are going and seeing all the performances. Tickets are $20 for the general public. Museum members is $18, and children and students with IDs, that includes college students, are only $8. And we also have the virtual walk again this year for those who might live too far away, who aren't physically able to do all that walking and standing. So we do have the virtual walk, which will be online starting in November. Tickets for the virtual walk are $25 for a household, and for museum members are $20, and you can watch it as many times as you want during the entire month of November.
I had forgotten about the virtual walk. That's got to be a huge, a huge piece and component that we've added since COVID.
It really is. And, we thought, this will just have to exist, while we're all remote, trying to, bend the curve, not spread COVID around. But we got such great feedback from not only the people who live around here in McLean and Central Illinois, but also from people who live out of the area now that used to attend the walk, and now they can because it's online, but also from older adults in our community who, again, have always wanted to go on the walk, but just aren't able to physically, do all that walking and standing at the performances, or who, again, used to be able to come and now they can again by experiencing online. And our online version also has closed captioning for people who may have hearing impairments too. So we kept the walk because it opened up a whole new audience to us and made it more accessible to larger groups of people.
With the online version, Candace, how is it how do folks access that? Like, is there a special website? Is it just through YouTube? Where do they go for that?
So once you purchase your ticket, you will be emailed a special link to pop the video up and watch it on any electronic device. So your iPad, your phone, your smart TV, your computer. But you will only get that link once you purchase a ticket, and we will send it to you like the day or two before the event goes live online.
Very good. So keep that in mind. Now let's dive into Candace. By the way, one more. I apologize. I just thought of this. Can folks go back and see like previous years' cemetery walks, or do they have to have like those special links and purchase a ticket for those?
So we don't leave each year's walk online in perpetuity. There's royalties that would need to be paid for our actors and scriptwriters. And so we leave it online for that limited amount of time, but we do have clips from previous years of the cemetery walk online. So you can see like one character from each year of the walk back to 2014. So at least you can kind of get a little taste of what we've done in the past.
So with the royalties and stuff, that leads me to think this is pretty professional stuff you're doing here then.
It is a very professional production, both the in-person and the online. We pay our actors for performing both for the in-person and the online. These are all actors, professional actors that you have seen on local theater stages in Decatur, Peoria, Bloomington, Champaign, and I mean, even, up in Chicago and other areas. We know the importance of, paying for somebody's labor. And we're very fortunate that we have the support from the community and our sponsors that allows us, to pay actors for doing this production. And we also, have to pay the videographer who puts together our online walk, which is Broadleaf Media. And I got to say, he does a fantastic job every year of making this just seem like a really, like something might find on TV. So we're really excited to work with a great crew of people that give 1,000% to make this the best walk, whether in person or online, that we can possibly have.
I don't think I knew that, Candace. I don't know why, but maybe I did and I had forgotten, but I feel like this is new info for me. So well done to you guys. That's amazing stuff. Again, Candace Summers, McLean County Museum of History, is our guest on the phone for this morning. So Candace, you mentioned the individuals you're highlighting this year. And again, I know last fall you had an individual with some Clinton ties, not necessarily for the greatest of reasons, but hey, a Clinton tie is a Clinton tie. We'll take it. So how about this year?
So this year, your Clinton tie is much, much better than, someone who had a murderer they chased down, hung in Clinton. This year, we have John Jackson Mays, who was a well-known artist with a camera. So he was a photographer. Most of his career was spent taking pictures with a photography studio here in Bloomington Normal, but he also spent a couple years right down in Clinton with his photography shop. And he also did horse breeding and raising and selling livestock. And he has a really cool story and, about, how like photography has changed over time. You always see the pictures from long ago where people are very stoic and they're sitting there, they're not smiling because, you had to, hold that pose for like a minute or more. Have you ever tried smiling for a minute? It's really hard. Also, people may not have as nice a teeth as we do, so you might not want to smile and show your teeth at that point. But as photography advanced and shutter speeds became quicker, then you actually have, like action poses where you can actually see people, running and engaging or doing activities or, smiling in pictures. And so he's going to be sharing information about his life and a little bit about photography that he was doing.
It's really cool. That's really cool. Who else are we highlighting this year?
So, of course, Illinois is corn country.
Mm-hmm.
We are surrounded by corn and bean fields, no matter where we go. And we would be remiss if we did not give a nod to our agricultural history. And so we're featuring a couple, Samuel Noble King and his wife, Mary Reed King, who were a force in the advancement of agriculture and encouraging people to become educated in ag. Samuel, he was a farmer. But he was more than just a farmer. He actually allowed the U of I to have a test plot on his property where they would come and, test out new types of fertilizer, new types of tillage, crop rotation, things like that. He also helped at the state level get the very first School of Ag building built at U of I, which I think is no longer there, but it was known as Morrow Hall. And he was responsible for helping get legislation passed that appropriated funds to build that building. And his wife, Mary, is equally as active in ag and also domestic sciences. She was a leader in teaching women household sciences and promoting, health practices and safe practices in the home and staying up to date. And at the end of their lives, when they both passed away, they deeded a generous portion of their estate to underwrite a home for elderly women in Bloomington known as the Jessamine Withers Home. So this is a power couple in agriculture, a progressive couple that used their money and their talents to better our society.
How about that? Very good. Anyone else you're highlighting this year, Candace?
Frances Kessler was a teacher. She had a 40-year teaching at Bloomington Public Schools and spent most of that time as a music appreciation teacher. So she would teach children how to not only play musical instruments, but also be good listeners, because she knew that not everybody would ever play a musical instrument in their lives, but she wanted children to learn how to appreciate music, how to listen to music, and hopefully that would instill in that lifelong love of music when they went on to be adults. And we also have Richard Blue, who was a Black man here in Bloomington. He fought in the U.S. Civil War, was actually in Galveston, Texas, when word was received by the last enslaved groups of people that they were free. So Juneteenth, he was there when Juneteenth began. He was very active in local politics. He tried running for alderman for Ward 3 here in Bloomington, and just had a lifelong passion for making sure that Black individuals in our community knew their rights and could exercise their rights.
That name sounds really familiar for some reason.
So his daughter, Belle Blue Claxton, we featured on the walk several years ago, and she was inspired by him to also be active in the civil rights movement. She and her husband, with the newly founded NAACP chapter here in Bloomington, were a driving force to try and desegregate the beaches at Miller Park.
Okay, maybe that's where it is. I'm not sure, but anyways,
it probably is. Yeah.
All right, very good, very good. Well, and so Candace, now are you are all of these individuals featured? I've never really asked this before, but are they featured in different like acts throughout the performance, or do you intertwine all their stories together into one production? How does that work?
So they're each individual performances. So you come to the cemetery and you're assigned a group, and then each group starts at a different person, but you will see all 6 of the performances as you go around the cemetery. And in addition to seeing and hearing the stories from people from Bloomington's past, you will also learn about history of the cemetery, monument making, monument types, burial practices, things like that, that are really important to know and to learn and respect and preserve cemeteries.
Yeah, and that's the obviously we haven't even gotten to the why you do these productions. So I guess quickly, we're kind of running out of time on this first segment. But give us the why. Why do we have these productions, Candace?
So cemetery walks are a widespread. We're not unique in that fact. And the main goal of most cemetery walks is to promote cemetery preservation, to help decrease vandalism. And that was the main goal of our cemetery walk when it began in 1995, was to combat vandalism. Evergreen Cemetery had a really long history of vandalism, unfortunately, but since this event began in 1995, instances of cemetery vandalism have dramatically decreased. They rarely happen, knock on wood, out at Evergreen or even surrounding cemeteries in our area. So we really feel that the power of this event, using the voices of the people who are buried there to tell their stories, to talk about the cemetery, it gives that place meaning, and it makes it not just a place where you go and there's a bunch of stones around. It makes it real. It puts faces and a story to the people who rest underneath all of these headstones. And that's important for our community because that's a repository for our history.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Great effort for sure. And did you say, Candace, I apologize, did you say how long you've been doing these?
This is our 29th year that we've been doing it.
Man, how about that? Good stuff.
It's wild, yeah.
Well, one more time, Candace, again, tickets go on sale here coming up in a few weeks. The when and where and how folks get those tickets.
Yeah, so September 5th, 9 a.m., mark your calendars. Tickets for the 29th annual Evergreen Cemetery Walk go on sale. You can buy them online through our website, or you can stop by the museum or Evergreen Memorial Cemetery to pick your tickets up. And don't delay, they go fast.
Fantastic. Candace Summers, McLean County Museum of History, our guest on the phone this morning. More to come with her here on the WHOW Morning Show.
WHOW. Illinois Ag Better.
Let's check the markets now on the RFD Radio Network. I'm Jim Taylor. Corn slightly higher, beans higher, and wheat trading slightly higher at this hour. September corn up 3/4, $4.73. December corn up half a penny, $4.88 3/4. March corn $5.04, up a penny. September beans $13.75, up 9 1/4. November beans up 12 1/4. $13.84. January beans $13.95 1/2, up 12. September wheat $6.06 1/4, up 2 1/4. December wheat up 2 3/4, 634.5. September bean meal up 20 cents, 422.90. September bean oil 66.84, up $1.30. Livestock market at this hour: August feeders 247.35, up 85 cents. August live cattle 179.97, up 12 cents. And October lean hogs $82 even, up $1.52. Energy market at this hour: October crude oil 80.18, up $1.13. Jim Taylor on the RFD Radio Network.
AM radio provides always-on news, sports, talk, traffic, and weather reports. And it's also a vital service that provides important emergency information when your community needs it most. Tell Congress you need AM radio to stay in your car. Because when cell phones and the internet are down, this free emergency service is critical. Text AM to 52886 and tell Congress we need AM radio in cars.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Hey everybody, Buddy Wilson here, your new country financial agent in Clinton. While we can't do anything about insurance industry rate increases, we still offer the best personal service you deserve. Click on my icon on DeWittDailyNews.com.
Connexus will provide local, reliable, affordable, and speed-of-light fiber internet to Clinton. Get on the install list now by clicking the Connexus icon at DeWittDailyNews.com. Fiber internet is coming to Clinton. Get on the install list now.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, a good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence, and Candace Summers with the McLean County Museum of History is our guest on the phone here for today. And Candace, I know you've got a special exhibit at the museum right now. It's in conjunction with an event in Bloomington Normal. What's going on? What do you have?
Yeah, so this weekend is Sweet Corn Circus Festival in Uptown Normal, and that celebrates, obviously, sweet corn, which is big in these parts, but also celebrates Bloomington Normal's legacy and history of circus performers. Because if you didn't know, Bloomington Normal has a huge and rich history and legacy in the circus, churning out for about 70 years aerialists, clowns, trainers, all kinds of people that had a connection to the circus world. And if you go outside of Bloomington Normal, like when you say you're from Bloomington, they're like, oh, wow, Bloomington circus, Art Kinsello, Mickey King, all these people who were performers. And it's like, when you come here, they're like, circus? What? Gamma Phi, right? And so we're really excited to be able to showcase some things from our collection while people are in town for Sweet Corn Circus, so they can come and check out and learn more about performers from our area.
Very good. So how long is that exhibit up for, Candace?
We'll probably have it up for the next few weeks. We have, of course, in our permanent exhibit, Working for a Living, we have some information about the circus there, like on the Flying Valentino, some of their costumes on display. On the second floor outside of our library, we have some posters and photographs of people from the circus and their performers. And then on the first floor, we have some table case displays that feature artifacts from our collection, like the elephant trainer hook that Richard Shipley from Bloomington used in his long career as an elephant trainer with Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey.
No kidding. That's really cool.
It's pretty awesome.
That is awesome. Very good. Very good. Candace, I apologize. I need to usher us along here. Let's talk about a special exhibit about baseball coming up in September. Highlight this for us.
Yeah, so really quick, we're having a program on Saturday, September 16th called Ballists, Deadbeats, and Muffins Inside Early Baseball in Illinois. And so this is talking about the baseball, from like the 1860s and 70s where nobody had any gloves. You're playing barehanded baseball, no night lights for night games, things like that. And so author Bob Sampson is going to share with us the fun and the rituals and how the early game was played. And it'll be a live stream program. It's a free program. So you can either come to the museum September 16th at 1:30, or you can catch us online through the museum's YouTube channel if you can't make it down.
Very good. So be a part of that. That's coming up as well. Anything else on the calendar, Candace, you want to highlight for us?
We always have lots of great things coming up on our calendar. We have our Lunch and Learn series kicking back off starting on the middle of the month in September. Of course, Cemetery Walk. We're going to be hosting some displays and activities in honor of Hispanic Latino Heritage Month from September to October. There's always something going on here at the museum, and just go to our website and learn more about it.
And the website is?
makehistory.org, or catch us on Facebook, Twitter, and also Instagram.
Very good. Glad you threw out those social medias. A lot of folks going there these days as well. Candace, always good to catch up with you. Appreciate you making some time for us, and we'll catch you next month. In fact, I think our visit next month, actually, it's going to be after the Apple and Pork Festival, but we will probably see you there, I venture a guess.
Oh, yes. I am always excited to go get some wonderful, yummy things at Apple and Pork.
Now, what's your go-to when you get here, Candace?
Apple cider slushy,
Mm-hmm.
of course.
Mhm.
Love that. Ham and beans, can't go without it. And then there's this really great place over by the homestead that had apple fritters. I think the Boy Scouts did that.
Yes.
So
Very
I
good.
have a little munchie map that my husband and I go through.
Very good. We'll see you then, Candace. Candace Summers, McLean County Museum of History, our guest. Network News on the way.
The Big 1520 WHOW Clinton, 92.3 FM.